Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with a little long weekend vlog. I booked a couple of days of annual leave from work, so I've got a nice long weekend up ahead of me, and I'm hoping that the weather is going to be okay-ish and that I can do some, I was going to say fun things. I'm not sure we've got the same definition of fun things. To me, fun things is like going and sitting in a park and reading my book. That to me is so fun. So I'm really hoping we're going to have some time to get out and about and that the weather will hold up enough for me to do that. I'm currently reading a book, but it's for a different video, so I'm going to keep that separate so it doesn't get confusing. But I don't have an audiobook on the go at the minute, and something else I want to do in these few days whilst I'm off is do some painting around the house. So we're probably going to listen to quite a few audiobooks as well. We will pick up a physical read or a Kindle read at some point, I'm sure, in this video. But the first book I want to read is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I wasn't going to read this. I don't really read memoirs. I have read a few like ages ago, but I don't tend to read them very much. And I wasn't going to read this. It didn't seem like my kind of thing, but it's got such amazing reviews. And as I said, at some point we will pick up something else as well. I'm sure it won't take me too long to listen to that one because I listen on 2x speed, so it'll only take me like 3 hours. Today is Thursday. It's Thursday evening now, so I'm just breaking up for my long weekend from work. We will just see what I end up getting up to in this video. Hello everyone, it is now Friday. I got up this morning, washed my car. Clearly I don't know how to wash a car because it still looks dirty. Like, if anyone, I'm just a girl, if anyone knows how to wash a car, please tell me, because it just still looks, it actually looks worse than it did before I washed it. But I tried. I washed my car, I've done some cleaning around the house, and my paint for the kitchen tiles, did I even say in this video? I'm painting the kitchen tiles. And you might be thinking, it's a bit of a weird thing to do. You'd be correct. I can't be bothered to replace them all, but I don't like the colour of them. So we're just going to try and paint them. I have got actual tile paint, and I'm going to give them a good scrub and sand them down before the paint gets here. So that is going to be my job for now, is to sort the kitchen out so that when the paint gets here, I can do a coat straight away, because I think you have to wait 4 hours between coats. So I'm going to do a coat tonight. It's like the afternoon now, but it's not getting delivered for another few hours. So I'm going to do a coat tonight and then paint the rest of that tomorrow. Riveting content, I know. What I did actually want to talk to you about is that I am about 30% through I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. And it's definitely different than I expected. I don't know why I thought it would be more her reflecting as an adult on her experiences, but it's actually told like a story. It's really interesting. I'm listening to the audiobook and she narrates it, which I think adds another layer to it as well. Basically, the way that it's being told is just as if it's almost, if not like, I'm not saying it sounds fictional, but it's told as like any other book would be, just going chronologically through her life and reflecting on how she felt, but like in the moment, if that makes sense, like how she felt as a child. We've not yet really got to a point where Jeanette as an adult is looking back and talking as if it's in past tense. I don't know if that literally makes any sense. I don't know why I can't explain a very simple concept today. I'm quite tired and I've got a headache, so we'll blame it on that. I don't know how to talk about memoirs. Like, I'm not enjoying it. It's like what she's been through is awful, but I am enjoying the reading experience. I am enjoying learning about her life. I never really watched iCarly that much as a kid, but obviously I always knew who Jeanette McCurdy was. So it's definitely interesting to see the other side of being like a child star. I was more of a Disney kid, so I was more just like Hannah Montana, but I think even if their individual experiences aren't the same, this book provides a really important insight into being a child actor, and potentially, I'm not saying every child actor has this experience, but potentially what it can look like behind the scenes. So yeah, I'm finding it a very interesting, very enlightening read. So I'm going to carry on listening to that while I go sort out my kitchen. I'm also wearing my Magnolia Parks jumper today. Wore it, spilt bleach all down it. So mine is like half tie-dyed. They don't come like that. It comes in a block colour, so ignore the bleach. But it's all of BJ's tattoos, like on the actual jumper, and then a quote from the book. And I just think it's so cute. I'm obsessed with these jumpers. But anyway, irrelevant. I am going to go sort out my kitchen. I promise we are going to do interesting things in this vlog. I haven't gone out today because I haven't been feeling that well the last 2 days. I'm pretty sure I don't have a bug or anything like that, but I don't want to like just go out and risk, I don't know, making anyone else ill. But I'm feeling much better now, so I'm going to crack on. But yeah, at some point in this vlog I'm hoping to go like book shopping, as I said before, go out to some parks, just get out and about and not just sit in my house all day. Hello, it is still Friday. I've just sorted out the kitchen, ready for the paint to arrive, and I thought, I've been saying for a while that I'm going to update my TBR jar, and I just haven't done it. Sorry if you can hear the fan, but it's really warm. Anyway, I've been saying I'm going to update my TBR jar, so I thought, whilst I've got nothing else to do for the next hour or so, let's update it. So I think the first thing I need to do is actually get out the prompts that are in here and see what they are. I don't think I'm going to get rid of the current prompts, but I am going to add in quite a lot of new ones just to mix it up a bit, because it's not that the prompts in here are bad, but my TBR videos are getting repetitive because I'm always picking out the same ones. So I've added these over a length of time. I didn't add all of these in one go, so I honestly can't remember what they are, and there are quite a lot in here and I don't necessarily want to repeat them. So I'm going to open them all up. Is it fun? I don't know, this might be really boring, but I thought it could maybe be fun to tell you what all of the prompts are in my jar if you're wanting to set up a TBR prompt jar. A book with flowers on the cover, a Kindle book, pink cover, a title with 2 words, a book by a new to you author, a book you bought because of BookTube, a romance, a book you've been putting off, a book from a favourite author. Like, why do I never pick these out? What I actually might do when we've got all these laid out, the ones that I know I've picked out like 10 times, maybe we'll take those out actually. Because there's some in here that I didn't even remember that were here because I've never chosen them. And some that I feel like I literally choose the same 10 every month even though I shake the jar up. A book with a blue cover, a book with a title that starts with an S, a mystery thriller, a book starting with an A book with a red cover, a YA read, a book from your 2025 TBR, book talk book, an audio book, seasonal read, a book by an author who shares one of your initials, a one-word title, continuous series. Clearly I've never picked that prompt. A book with a green cover. Okay, clearly I was on a colour theme when I wrote these. Enemies to lovers, a book with an animal on the cover, a new adult book, an anticipated read, an intimidating read, an adult read, fake dating, a book on your need to read shelf, a book set on the beach, a romantasy, randomly point to a book. I do think that one's fun because it takes like obviously the choice out of it completely. A title with 4 words, a fantasy, and then last one, a book with 400 plus pages. So I think what we'll do now is I'm going to go through these and take out the ones that I just pick all the time and that I think are getting a bit boring. I have taken out some of the old prompts and I've written out all the new ones, so I'm just going to quick fire read off the new prompts that I'm going to add in. Free choice has royalty, mood read, first TBR book you see on Instagram, so like just scroll through my Bookstagram account and the first book I see that is already on my TBR, that would be what I would pick. Goodreads chooses, same thing, scroll through Goodreads, first book I see that I own a copy of, that's what I'm reading. Released before 2020, released in 2023, a title with punctuation, an odd number of pages, cartoon cover, a classic, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, standalone, been on my TBR for over a year, and then there's just a few where I've done random numbers, so like number 15, whatever, and I will just count across my TBR cart. I'm not going to wrap or number the books, just whatever order they're in on that day, I will choose that number. Highest rated on Goodreads, a 5-star prediction, person on the cover, a book with an even number of pages, a book that matches my outfit, lowest Goodreads rating, stars on the cover, what I think is a beautiful cover, a book that I'm not sure whether or not I will like it, a book with over 500 pages, a 3-word title, and last one, a book with 350 pages. Obviously I would just choose the one that is closest to 350. And they are all of the new prompts. And then, as I said, I took some of the old ones out, but I have put quite a lot of the old ones back in, but I've only put the ones back in that, as I said, I've not really chosen before, just to try and freshen up the TBR videos a little bit. So I'm going to fold all these now and put them in the jar. I'm still listening to I'm Glad My Mum Died. And then I think I'm going to do my workout for the day. Some Pilates, I think, and then probably have some tea. Hello, it is Saturday morning. I've been up for a couple of hours. I've done the first coat of paint on half the kitchen. I'm about to do the other half. I finished listening to I'm Glad My Mum Died yesterday, 5-star. Like, if it wasn't a 5-star, I wouldn't rate a memoir, but 5-star. Like, it feels weird to rate someone's life, but I'm not rating like the plot. Obviously that's her life. I'm rating the way it was written, the way it was told. I think the audiobook was a great experience as well. And it just like simultaneously broke and healed something in me at the same time, that book. It was just, even though I'm obviously not a child star or an adult star, that's that one done, which means I'm now not listening to an audiobook, and I've got a lot of painting to do today. So I've got some Spotify hours left. I think I've got about 4 hours left of my monthly listening hours, and it is nearly the end of July, so I need to listen to them. So I'm going to start Fire with Fire by Destiny Soraya. I don't really know what this is about other than 2 sisters. I don't know if they're like physically taken, but I think one of them is like on the wrong side of things, and the other one is trying to get them back to the right side, and it has dragons. So we'll see how it goes. As I said, don't know much about it. I think it's YA. It's just a random fairy loot book that I've got that I didn't choose and don't know much about, but yeah, we will see how that one goes. I was gonna start This Savage Song by V. Schwab, but the audiobook isn't on Spotify, at least in England, so I can't. But yeah, at least it means we're getting this one off the TBR because it has been on there for a very long time. Hello people, it's still Saturday and I'm about to make some tea. Sneak preview of my new and updated kitchen. These tiles were black. So these tiles were black and I just never liked them when we moved in. The kitchen, it's not a small room, but it's quite a thin room and the window is at one end. So I just feel like the black tiles didn't do the most to brighten up the room, to be honest. So I've painted them. I can't decide though whether I want to go back and do the grout black. There was no way I could have kept the grout. I was actually not going to stand here and hand paint within the lines, like 3,000 tiles. There's not 3,000 tiles in this room, I'm being dramatic, but you get the point. But I might go back in with the black grout pen and do the grout black. I can't decide. Anyway, I'm about to make tea and I thought I'd show you what I'm making because I think it's a life hack. It's very, very basic, but I think it's a life hack. I use naan breads. You can use like naan breads, pita breads, flat breads, whatever you want. Some kind of bread, but not like a loaf of bread. You can even use wraps. I don't love it with wraps. I prefer something a bit thicker. But we're basically going to make little pizzas. They take like 10 minutes and you can just do them in the air fryer. So I basically put these in. I put them in the air fryer for like 3-4 minutes on one side. Take them out, flip them over. Put tomato puree, sprinkle on some cheese. Obviously, I'm saying obviously, you might not know. I can't eat real cheese, so I use vegan cheese, but obviously you can use whatever you want. I tend to keep it simple. I do like a margarita. You can literally put anything you want on, like any veggies that you've just got lying around, like tomatoes, any meats or fake meats that you've got that need eating, you can just chuck them all on here. Obviously this is kind of just grilling it, so I wouldn't put like raw meat on here. Be careful, food safety is important, but you know what I mean. You can put whatever you want kind of topping wise on these. Oh, Fire with Fire, I actually did start. I'm on like chapter 8. I'm already a quarter of the way through. It says anyway on the audiobook that I'm a quarter of the way through. I'm definitely enjoying it. It's very different to what I expected. It's like, it's set in our world. Like she's listening to Halsey. Is that how you say it? Halsey? I don't know how you say that in a British accent because the audiobook narrator's American. But they're listening to her. They're talking about like Google. They have phones. They have cars. They go to high school and college. And basically dragons exist, but the general population don't know. So our main characters are 2 sisters who come from a family of like dragon slayers. So their job is to get rid of the dragons. Apparently the dragons are very, very dangerous. They want to completely eradicate them. So that is their family's job. And there's also something called sorcerers, which we don't know that much about yet. We have met a sorcerer. And they have magic, but we don't know much about the magic yet. But all of this is like a secret from the general population. They don't know about the dragons. My storage got full and I can't remember what I was saying. But yeah, Fire with Fire is definitely different from what I was expecting, but it's a nice change of pace. Typically, I prefer like a royalty kind of fantasy, something with like a bit of politics, a bit of a royal family, but this is a nice change of pace. I've been reading a lot of fantasy recently that hasn't been hitting. I have read a couple of gems, but on the whole, most of the fantasy books that I've been reading recently just haven't quite been hitting the mark. So I think it's nice that this is a bit different to what I've been reading. Anyway, I'm actually going to make my tea now because I'm starving. Hello. yet again, ignore the shit behind me. I, as you know, have been renovating the kitchen, so there's just stuff everywhere in the house at the moment that I've had to take out of the kitchen. But anyway, it's now Monday. I literally didn't speak to you at all yesterday, but I had those couple of B-roll clips where I did my little face mask, washed my hair, had an everything shower. Very relaxing and very much needed. But yeah, I just had a day at home with my boyfriend yesterday, so I didn't film anything. But today's Monday. I'm still on annual leave today and tomorrow. I have an eye test this afternoon, so I'm going to go a bit early to the eye test and go and do a spot of book shopping. Just generally have a mooch around the shops. There's no actual book shops where I'm going, like there's not a Waterstones or whatever the new name for WH Smith is. Nothing like that. There are quite a few charity shops, and there is a Works which has books in it. There's not like a dedicated bookshop, but to me the Works is like a bookshop. So I'm going to go and have a mooch around the charity shops and around the Works. I am trying not to buy books at the moment, so I'm only going to buy things if I see things that are already on my radar and I get excited when I see them, then I'll get them. But I'm not just going to go buy books for the sake of it. But I thought it'd be nice anyway to go and have a little browse around the bookshops and around a couple of other shops. I want to go to B&M as well. There's a few bits that I need from there. I think some shops have already got the autumn stuff out, which I am an autumn girl through and through, don't get me wrong. But I don't ever go on my summer holiday until the end of summer. So I try and push off autumn until I'm back from my summer holiday. But there's just something about pumpkins, guys. There's just something about pumpkins and seeing them in shops that gets me excited. I think I'm also going to have time after my eye appointment before I have to go get my boyfriend from work. And I don't think there'll be much point coming home, to be honest. I don't think I'll have quite enough time to come home. So I was going to go on a walk, but it keeps raining. And I don't mind being out if it's raining, but the place that I was going to go, if it started raining, I could be like a 40-minute walk away from the car. It's one of those places where once you've set off, you've set off. And do you know what I mean? You can't just like run back to the car. There's no shelter or anything. So I think I'm going to rethink that little plan. And what I might do instead is go somewhere else where it's nice and picturesque and sit in the car and read, and then just go and have like a little walk around where I'll always be nearer to the car in case it absolutely belts it down, because the clouds are looking like it could absolutely chuck it down. And I would, rather avoid that if possible. So I think that's the plan. Go shopping, have my eye test, and then with whatever time I've got left, go outside somewhere. Because I've said that when I was on annual leave, I actually wanted to get out the house. And so far I haven't done that because I've just been inside the house painting and cleaning it the whole time. So I would actually like to get out. Even if I have to just sit in the car with the windows down in nature, that's better than me just sitting in the house all the time. Yeah, I'm still reading Fire with Fire. Not much more to update. I will give you an update when I'm a bit further in, maybe after I've read it, because I'm going to take that out with me and try and read it. So I'll give you an update when I have read my next little stint to let you know how I'm feeling about that one. And I have started another book on audio as well whilst I've been pottering around the house, because I ran out of listening hours on Spotify. So I stopped listening to Fire with Fire and moved to the physical copy. And I am now listening to Nocticadia by Kerry Lake. This is a dark academia kind of, I don't know if it has any fantastical elements or not, or if it is just a dark academia. I thought it was a fantasy book going in, but very quickly learned it's not a fantasy book. Anathema by Kerry Lake, I believe, is. Nocticadia isn't. It's this Ivy League university, and our main character, her mum had this strange disease, and everyone like gaslights our main character, saying that it wasn't real and that's not what her mum had. And she gets invited to go to this university where she hopes to learn otherwise and hopes to learn a bit more about what happened to her mum. I think it's also going to be a student-teacher romance, which it's not my bag. I think it's just the fact that I used to be a teacher that, like, it's just not for me. It shouldn't be for anyone because it's illegal, obviously. But I mean, even in real life, obviously, it's for no one. Let's get that clear. It's illegal. But in books, in fiction, I think a lot of people, and I'm not judging this, a lot of people can look past it because it's fictional. I struggle to look past it even when it's fictional, because I'm like, I just don't understand. And it is different, I suppose, kind of, because she is at university and she's an older student, so she's older than she technically should be. Obviously you can go to uni at any age, but do you know what I mean? She's older than she would be if she'd have gone to uni straight out of school. So she is a fully grown adult. She's not like 18. But still, I just think it's weird. I'm sorry. It's just, it icks me out. So we'll see how that goes and how that develops. Nothing has happened yet. Like, I might be completely wrong. but I don't see how I would be wrong because it is a dual point of view book, if you get my drift. So yeah, we will have to see. I'm not 100% sold on this book yet, to be honest. It's my fault for thinking it had fantastical elements going in. Like, I should have actually read the synopsis. So we will see. I keep saying we will see. Obviously, we'll see. Like, that's the point of the video. I need to really get a new phrase. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I can appreciate that it seems well written for what I've read so far. I'm not massively far in, but it does seem well written. I will give it that. I just don't know if it's for me. Kind of like Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I can appreciate that book objectively, and I can see why people would give that 6 stars. I think it was a very well written book, and if that is your kind of thing, I can see why you would love it. But I fear Nocticadia is going to be the same thing, where I can appreciate it objectively, but it's not for me. I'm thinking I should have read Anathema, but then Anathema has way worse reviews than Nocticadia does. So I don't know. I'm going to carry on with it anyway. I will probably listen to that as I'm going around the bookshops, because I've got no one to talk to. So I'll probably have my earphones in and listen to that as I'm shopping. And then when I sit down after my appointment, I will read Fire with Fire, and I will get back to you on both of those later, or probably later. I probably shouldn't not talk to you again until tomorrow. I will speak to you later. Apologies if you can hear the aircon. I cannot sit in this car without it on. It is roasting in here. My car is parked directly in the sun, and I was sweating 30 seconds after getting in the car. I thought I'd do you a quick haul, none of which is books. I did go in the charity shops and the works, and there were definitely books I could have bought, but as I said, I'm trying to be good. I've still got books on my TBR cart. I've got so many unread books on my Kindle as well. I'm really trying to be behaved and not buy books just for the sake of it. They had the whole Folk of the Air box set trilogy in one of the charity shops. I already own it, but I thought it was cool that they had that, obviously, for other people. They always seem to have Cassandra Clare books as well in my local charity shops, but I know that my library has those, and I tend to borrow those from the library. So again, I didn't need to buy them, so I didn't. I was very tempted to buy 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole, but I honestly don't think I'll ever read that book because it seems so sad. But if I do, I think it's on Kindle Unlimited anyway. This is what I'm trying to avoid, buying physical copies of books which I then feel pressured to read because I own them. If I want to read that book at any point, I could just read it on KU. But I did get, there's people like walking and watching me. This is so awkward. They're literally not watching me, actually, they don't care. I did buy quite a lot of little trinkety bits though in the shops, like little bits for the garden mainly. So I thought I would very quickly show you those before I set off. I do have some spare time, which is nice. I've got about an hour, so I'm going to go and find somewhere nice to sit outside and read my book for an hour. But yeah, I got this cute little bee for the garden. I think it's, oh, it's like an actual, okay, I assume it's got to be solar powered, or do I need to put batteries in it? I don't know. Anyway, it's a light up bee that just like sticks in. I'm going to put it in a plant pot in the garden, which I thought was very cute. Likewise, I thought this was adorable. These are all from One Beyond, is that what it's called? Basically the pound shop that's not a pound shop anymore. I thought this was adorable. Like, this was £1.50 and it's like heavy, it's ceramic. I thought that was so cute. So again, I'm going to put that in the garden. I do want some bigger ornaments as well for the garden, but they had loads of these cute little trinkety bits, so I thought I would pick them up while I'm there, and then I'm going to keep looking. I need to I did go in B&M then, but honestly I just got a bit overwhelmed and left. I couldn't carry anymore. But I do want to look for some like bigger garden ornaments as well. I think B&M is probably a good place, but I'll go there another time. I also got a new thing for the hose because I threw the hose over the garden wall to do some water in the other day and broke it. I got some Pringles because I'm hungry, so I'm going to sit and eat those whilst I'm reading my book when we get to wherever I end up going. And I got some scent boosters because I ran out and I like 2 scent boosters in my washer. I really don't want to use them. A, the added cost, and B, I don't think they're the best thing ever for the environment, but honestly I'm yet to find a way to make my clothes smell fresh for longer than 3 seconds when they come out of the wash if I don't use scent boosters. So if anyone's got any tips, do let me know. And then this is my current favourite Zaflora scent, springtime, and I'd run out, so I got a big bottle of this because I love cleaning the house with that scent at this time of year. My favourite Zaflora scent ever is Winter Spice, but I'm sure I could get that online somewhere. but I do kind of want to savour that for the autumn winter months. So I thought, let's stick with springtime. It is a very nice fresh scent. I am a bit funny with fresh scents sometimes. I honestly don't always think they smell that fresh. Sometimes they smell a bit like cat wee. This one doesn't. This one actually smells really nice. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go drive somewhere. I feel like I'm really close to the camera, but this is just how close I have to have my seat. My car has got like weirdly deep footwells or something, I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna set off now, go and sit outside somewhere nice. It's really gorgeous and sunny at the moment, and read more of Fire with Fire. Change of plan. Turns out the place I wanted to go is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, so I can't even go tomorrow. It's my favourite place ever, but anyway, I can't go there. So I've come to the place where I didn't want to come because it's far from the car, but it's fine. It's bright sunshine now anyway. So slight change of plan. I'm going to go for a nice walk, see if I can find somewhere to just sit and eat my crisps. But yeah, it's not going to be the cute like reading moment that we thought, but at least I'm getting some steps in. Good morning everyone. It's Tuesday, so it is the final day of my annual leave, and I've been debating what to do today. The weather's not as nice as I hoped it would be. I was gonna go and sit out at like this park place, like go sit on a bench or sit on the grass and read for a couple of hours, but it's been raining overnight, so I imagine the grass and the benches are probably very wet. So the only thing I can really do is go out for a walk instead and listen to an audiobook. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the place I went to yesterday because I didn't get time to walk around the whole thing yesterday when I was there. Basically what I did is I walked a little bit, sat for a bit, walked a bit, sat for a bit, and then turned around. I went back to the car because, as I said, I had to go get my boyfriend from work, so I didn't have time to do the whole walk. So I think I'm going to go back there today and do the whole walk. As I said, the weather's not the best. It's not very sunny, so it's not like, you know, the most aesthetic, but I'm just really in the mood to get out and go and have a good walk. I do have a couple of reading updates. I've read a couple more chapters of Fire with Fire, and there's something about it that I'm just not loving. I love the idea of it, but I don't know what it is. The writing style is very YA, which isn't inherently a problem because it's literally a YA book. I can't criticise it for that. It is YA. So if you're looking for a YA book, there we go. But I just feel like a lot of the plot points are underexplained. I can't talk too much without spoilers, that's the problem. But there's a couple of like borderline magical things happening that just aren't really explained, and we're supposed to just go with it. And I don't know whether that is because it's a YA book, but I'm so glad that I recently read One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, because they are YA. That is like the pinnacle for me, a YA fantasy book. Like that's what I'm measuring it to now. And this just isn't hitting, and it is very different from that. I'm not expecting it to be the same, but I think those books prove that you can write in an accessible way to a younger audience but still make the story interesting and still have a magic system that makes sense and not just expect your readers to blindly accept everything you say. And I feel like this is ever so slightly guilty of that. I'm also finding the characters just quite annoying, to be honest. I think that is the main thing that's bothering me. I can deal with the YA writing style, I don't mind YA books, but that combined with the fact that I'm finding the characters really annoying, it's quite difficult. It is quite difficult. Also, the character of Sadie, I thought was gonna end up being, shall we say, a prominent character. I don't think that's the case. So I'm a bit confused as to her presence in the story. I was really hoping that she was going to be involved in some kind of plot with our main character, and I don't think she is going to be. I think it's going to be someone else, if you get my drift. It just seems like this book doesn't quite know if it wants to have a romance in it or not, and I kind of wish it just didn't include like the ex and the new romance. I just wish the romance wasn't even included and we focused more on the fantasy plot. So yeah, unfortunately I'm not loving this. What page am I on? I'm on page 140, chapter 11. I do want to finish it, but I don't know whether to put it down for now and wait until my Spotify hours renew and listen to the audiobook, because I was enjoying it a lot more when I was listening to the audio. I'm finding it really hard to concentrate when I'm sat down reading this. Like, I will literally stare at a wall. I'm just not compelled to read it, unfortunately. But when I was listening to the audio, I was enjoying it. So I think that might be the way to go, to wait a few days and then pick it back up on audio. Speaking of audio, I've listened to more of Nocticadia. I don't know how far in I am because I'm filming this on my phone and I'm listening to it on my phone, but I am quite far in. I've only got a couple of hours left of the audiobook and I'm really not liking it. Again, the romance is ruining it for me, and I never thought I'd say this because I am a romance girl through and through. I do love a good romance plot in any genre, but it's just, I can feel the power imbalance. I'm really sensitive to the whole teacher-student thing, and I can really, really feel the power imbalance. Also, the rest of the plot is kind of, I feel like keeps getting pushed to the wayside for the sake of them, like, trying to develop this so-called romance. I don't feel any romance. I just feel physical attraction, kind of. Not even really, though, between them. I just don't feel anything between these two main characters at all, to be honest. I was hoping this book would be a lot more atmospheric than it is. I feel like people do say it's atmospheric, so maybe it's just me, but it doesn't feel very atmospheric. And I hate to compare every book to One Dark Window, but that was just the most recent book I read where I really felt that eerie atmosphere. And you would think in a dark academia you would have that. They keep talking about how dangerous it is and that she can't walk on her own at night because it's so dangerous. Okay, well, like, give me a flavour of that then. Let's, like, stop and describe this setting a bit more instead of describing the crotch of this professor, this crusty, dusty professor. Let's describe the setting, God forbid. And I don't get me wrong, they did, like, at the beginning. But, I mean, throughout the novel, we still need to maintain that sense of atmosphere if you're going to maintain the fact that it's, like, a dark, scary, dangerous place. But stop telling me that and start showing me that. I feel like it is a lot of telling rather than just showing organically. So unfortunately I'm not loving either of my books, so I really don't know what to do. I'm going to decide when I get to the place I'm going for the walk what I want to listen to, because I didn't realise that my audiobook Hold of the Let Them theory has come in, and I've been wanting to read that for quite a while since everyone started talking about it. I'm not expecting it's probably going to change my life, but I am someone that gets really irritated over tiny things, so I think it could be good for me to read this book. So I'm just going to see when I get there if I want to finish Nocticadia or if I want to listen to the Let Them theory. I'm honestly considering DNF in Nocticadia. I don't know. I'm just not sure that it's the book for me. And I think I kind of knew that early on. And I need to start trusting my gut more and stop hoping the books will get better when I just don't like them. It's different with Fire because there's a couple of things like niggling me about this, but there's nothing like problematic that I inherently don't like about it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's different to Nocticadia, where I don't like the romance and that's quite a big chunk of the book. This is more just like, it might not be quite my taste, or I might not be quite the target demographic of this book, but there's nothing like making me angry about it. It's just a few little niggles. But then I just finished a book for another video that had a few little niggles, and I ended up giving it 4 stars by the end because I kind of forgot about the niggles and just really enjoyed the book. So those kind of books I can get on board with. I don't think I want to DNF this. I do want to finish it. I'm just not sure about Nocticadia, guys. I'm really not sure. fact that I'm sat on the floor. My phone's on charge and it's only a short wire, so I really can't move very far, so I'll make this quick. I've just finished Nocticadia. Not for me, 2 stars. Where was the romantic development? As I said before, I really felt the power imbalance between them. I felt there was no emotional connection between them at all. It was just some lust, but I wasn't even convinced by their physical attraction, to be honest. And then the whole plot went out the window and then came back really quickly and was rushed at the end. And at one point, she had the opportunity to find out something about her mum and she said no because she wanted to be with a professor. And I don't think we should be like maybe selling this as a romance. Not for me. Whatever works for you, that's great. This did not work for me. 2 stars. I'm also about halfway through the Let Them theory. I'm not sure how I feel about that either. So this is going really well. It's fine. Like what she's saying makes sense, but then she starts saying things like, if people are being rude, let them. It's like, but why? I'm hoping she's going to tell me at some point in this book why. Because if someone's being rude to me, why should I let them? Have compassion and empathy. Yeah, they might be having a really bad day, but that doesn't mean I should just let them do it. That doesn't mean we should let people go scot-free without consequences. And maybe that's not what she's saying. But also she's like, if people have different like political views, let them. There's a difference though between different political views and believing in human rights. And I'm worried that we're not making that distinction. Anyway, I'm not sure this book is aiming to get into that level of nuance, but ultimately, as a human being that lives in the world, I am thinking with that level of nuance. So we'll see. I'm not going to DNF. It's very easy to listen to. I've got about 2 hours left of the audiobook at the speed that I'm listening to it at. Not 2 hours left of the book. There's 6 hours left of the audiobook, but I'm listening to it on 3 times speed. It was fine. I enjoyed my walk earlier. It was very nice. It did start to rain, as I think you saw at one point. But it was still nice. It was only a very light smattering of rain. It didn't chuck it down. So that was nice. And I'm now building Lego. But I need a break from listening to these audiobooks. So I'm going to put some booktube on whilst I build my Lego. I'm building some little Lego flowers, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, I will get back to you in a bit. I probably will try and listen to some more of the Let Them theory. If I don't finish it today, I'll finish it tomorrow and just pop in before the end of this vlog to let you know what I thought about it. I probably won't finish Fire with Fire in this vlog though, because it's supposed to be ending today and I'm not even halfway through. So that's probably not going to happen. Hello everyone, it is no longer Tuesday, but in true me style, I never ended the vlog. So I thought I would just pop in and just quickly talk you through my thoughts on the Let Them theory, because I did finish it on Tuesday. I just, for some reason, never spoke about it. I actually ended up giving it 2 stars. I really didn't end up loving it. At the beginning, I was genuinely very hopeful. It sounded like something I could implement into my life. But the more the book went on, the more I was waiting for any kind of nuance, and the book really lacked nuance for me. It felt like the author was making quite big sweeping statements that just simply aren't applicable to everyone's lives and to everyone's circumstances. Like she was saying, oh, if people have beliefs that don't affect you, just let them. Personally, that just doesn't align with my own beliefs. As someone who in many ways is in a position of privilege, I don't feel comfortable ignoring harmful actions and words, even if they don't directly affect me. That's not how I like to live my life. I like to stand up for what is right. And I get what she's trying to say, like, don't let things get to you. But I think sometimes you do actually need to let things get to you to understand, like, other people's situations. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but also I think if you're going to publish a book saying let them, I think you also need to think more deeply. I think the book is very much written towards, like, you know, people who live a very, very comfortable life with no kind of adversaries at all. It also felt a little bit at times like the author was trying to justify her own past behaviour. She was acting as if she was holding herself accountable, but I almost feel like she did all this research and like wrote up this book just to make herself feel better about herself, which I mean, fair enough, hun, but yeah, the general premise of the book was fine. Like the premise of the book is not fiction. The general idea of the theory, I understand. I just think the discussions around the application of the theory into day-to-day life just didn't sit right with me. So I ended up giving it 2 stars. And that brings us to the end of this vlog. So not the most successful reading week. I never finished Fire with Fire. I'm still in the middle of that. And then I had 2 2-star reads. So not the best week. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.